Hello everyone, and welcome back to another edition of the Misfits Racing League. My name is Strifium. Joining me for round 9 action for Tier 3 is Alex Bitto. How are you doing today, Alex?
Hello. Very good today for round, I think number 9. Today, with Tier 3, we are on Canada Strip, and you really know this one.
Yeah, my home circuit. I'm extremely excited to jump into racing action. But before we jump into racing action, as you saw before the stream really got going here, rest in peace to an absolute legend, one of the greatest broadcasters of all time, Mr. Murray Walker, and a great inspiration to me, and I imagine anybody sitting here or sitting anywhere, standing anywhere, talking about motor racing knows Murray Walker, and it's a big loss for motorsport and an even larger loss for Formula One. So a big rest in peace and a big thank you to Murray for everything he's done for motorsport and Formula One. So that's what precedes this week of racing, the Canadian Grand Prix, my home circuit. Excuse me as I try to find myself here. It is an intense circuit. This circuit, 14 turns of absolute intensity and high-speed action. This is, one of the longest standing circuits, I think, on the calendar now at this point. It is round number 9, and we have some very iconic areas on this circuit that we'll be looking for in qualifying. We had Baku last week, before that Monaco, two very tight circuits. Canada, also somewhat of a street circuit. It is going to present some unique situations as well. Next week, France, round 10. Following that, we have Austria, Britain, Hungary, Belgium, Italy, Singapore, Russia, Japan, as well as the United States, Mexico, Brazil. And then the finale, Abu Dhabi. Of course, all of this. Big shout out to our partners, Next Level Racing. You can find them via the link in the chat, or of course the panels below on their website for some amazing sim racing products. Definitely encourage checking them out, as I personally use one of their rigs. They're very comfortable and high quality. Yes, that is a big shout out to NLR there. Let's take a look at Tier 3 now, Alex. Things are very intense, and before I look at the actual standings for Tier 3 here, I just want to talk about the combined constructors, because it has been made... Well, I've been informed that Williams and AlphaTauri right now and the combined constructors are deadlocked, which means coming into round 9 of racing, it's all to play for. And right now we have a matchup between the AlphaTauris and Williams drivers coming into round 9. And that, of course, is going to be Squid and Alex Butt over at Williams, with Gadwin and Undertaker for AlphaTauri. So we'll see what those guys can do for their respective teams. But it is Rutanius, Maka, and Backrow leading this championship right now. Rutanius has had a superlative command of this season so far, and of course we have Racing Point, Red Bull, and Renault, the top 3 in the constructors. And we'll just see how that pans out here around Montreal, Alex, and it is going to be a very intense race. Of course, it is prone to rain as well here in Canada, so I'm definitely hoping we see some of that after Tier 1 on Thursday. So
yeah, surely that was very intense. It was an intermediate conditions, but at the same time it wasn't. It was very sleepy for that compound of tires. So at the moment, just waiting for one driver who had a disconnection of some kind of issue. So will be 20 drivers here, one reserve. We will see that on the grid. But yeah, very excited. As you said, combined constructors very tight. I think you said locked up. It's a tie between Williams and AlphaTauri and Rutanius. Meanwhile, on the Drivers' Championship of this Tier 3, they're leading by a good margin. He can rest, so we will see how he manages this race. I haven't talked with him that much about this track, but I will guess that it's a good one for him.
Well, it's going to be a very intense race. A lot of practice, a lot of preparation going into all of these rounds. We've seen from all of these grids, and a few of these drivers not really where they want to be in the championship at this time. One of those drivers to talk about, Dirk Chocolate in the McLaren, he's talked to me about potentially, getting himself into a good points position here to advance himself in this standings. But we'll just have to see how this race, really plays out. Once we get into qualifying, we'll get a really good look at where everyone's landing on pace. Of course, we'll get that roll of the dice on weather. We have the countdown now going out. 10 seconds remaining before we jump into 18 minutes of qualifying and then a 35 lap campaign around Montreal. Going to be a lot of fun.
Surely, as we are loading in this session, remember, of course, 18 minutes qualifying and 50% race here on Canada. If I'm not mistaken, it's 35 laps for this 50% race. So it will be a very interesting one.
Mikhail in the chat looking for some dark horses from you and I for this race. And of course, if anyone in the chat has some bold predictions, get them out there. But we are about to jump into qualifying. I'd have to say, looking at who's on the grid today, I'm going to go with these Williams guys. I think my dark horse is going to go to be Mr. Alex Budd. I drove with him through the weekend. He's been improving a lot. He's been really hammering down the practice, so much so that he won't even participate in some of the classic car racing. He says, I want to be dialed in my Williams, and I respect that. So I'd like to see Alex Budd do well today.
Yeah, surely he has not been the luckiest one, but probably today he can. Oh my god.
Well, we're being told that this is going to be a wet race. Oh, I love it. I'm happy now, man.
We are blessed.
I'm happy now, man. Oh, this is gonna be a good time. This is the way to set the week up, Alex. What do you think?
Of course it is. Of course it is. All 20 drivers here on this grid. As I said, only one reserve for Ferrari. It will be Joe as his first appearance, and I really don't think this is the best condition for a debut.
No, this is definitely
still,
tough.
You can prove yourself how you manage to race on rain. Probably he will enjoy it. Probably we don't know at that yet. So we will see. I think they're still loading in. Nope, we see some Renault driver. I think no, it's a Godwin on the Alfa Romeo and AlphaTauri. Sorry, just going out of the pits, followed by a racing point.
If you could see the size of the grin on my face as I now speak over these cars and these wet conditions, you would just smile. Because the rain in Canada, oh, it is something to behold. Godwin, we've seen him this season. He had a very, very good wet quali. If I'm not mistaken, it was Spain. And we'll see what he will be able to do. That AlphaTauri now, the first driver out on to the circuit. And normally in these qualifying sessions, you see that everybody, it's a race to get out of that pit lane. But today there was a hesitation. Because, ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining us, it is going to be a dry to wet campaign from what the chat is saying. And that is, well, the way it goes in Canada. They're saying full wet as well, the forecast. Which, well, that's just how quickly things can change in Canada. If anyone was tuning into the Endurance series that we held last season, I'm sure, Alex, you have some memories from that.
Yes, I have. Yes, I have. It was very, very. There was a safety car because rain conditions. So, just saying that, just be sure to check it on the MRL YouTube. So now Godwin will be starting this lap out of the last chicane on this onboard, and it's not raining that much, but it still is very dangerous, especially on turns like turn 5, where you need to go flat out on dry conditions. Let's see how they manage to do that turn on this situation.
Yeah, coming out of turn 2, an already difficult traction zone, even more difficult so in these wet conditions. Even though it's light rain, it's a tricky corner, and as we come through turn 5 now, into, of course, the 6-7 chicane. Of course, Godwin, the first driver on circuit, is purple, and now we're coming through turn 7, this right-hander. Down the way we go, sector 2, of course, and this will bring us into a very, very interesting chicane. This is 8-9 now. As you come through 8-9, he takes that inside curbing and that outside curb on the exit. And turn 9, definitely a turn where we've seen drivers lose traction quite easily. Coming through turn 10 now, the hairpin. And then we have two very, very quick coming turns here. This is turn 11 as he comes off the curb. And then as he just comes into DRS here, this is turn 12. And then it's on down through the Casino Straight here in Montreal, into one of the most iconic sections of circuit in Formula One, the 13-14 Wall of Champions chicane, where we have seen many a retirement over the years. And there it is, the first lap of this session, a 120.471 out of the Honda-powered AlphaTauris.
Wow, and then putting a lap very, very tight with the AlphaTauri driver. So now is Maka improving that 6/10 out of the AlphaTauri Godwin driver. So right now we have these three drivers settling laps, but there's a lot of drivers now on a lap. We have Adam, who just invalidated, so I think he's just letting everyone go, and as well as back row, I think he will cross the line.
Everyone now on these laps, everyone getting a feel for these circuit conditions. I do believe the conditions here for qualifying are going to remain wet. And what we're being told in the forecast, it is going to go from dry to absolutely torrential here in Montreal. And, well, if anyone's seen the 2011 Canadian Grand Prix, when the rain gets heavy in Canada, it gets heavy. And I think Codemasters knows that. Unicorn crossing the line into fourth. Dunk on you went third. And Joe, here on his debut, will jump Maka by 0.02 of a second, Alex.
That is massive. That is massive. As now he will yield, I guess, for his teammate who's just behind, entering well a new lap. But it seems like he's continuing, but he's low on fuel, so I don't know if he will try another one. We have Becario on 10th place.
Cactus.
Oh yes.
Cactus has just taken provisional pole position, ladies and gentlemen, in the Mercedes by, yes, 1 millisecond on this timing tower.
Yes, his teammate invalidated, and now Jasko improving 4/10 that time, that provisional pole from Cactus. Now it's 4/10 down. So I don't know if this track is evolving or Jasko just throw all there on that lap and really took a good one there.
Very nice times coming out of these drivers, as it would appear that the circuit is evolving. Now Damon plays the McLaren, who's been having a very solid, well, I'd have to say he's had a very good run this season in this McLaren. We'll see what he's able to do coming out of turn 14 down to the line. It's good for fourth, and he will be right on the rear of his teammate Dirk Chocolate. So the McLaren's 3-4 right now.
Adam Rutenius is putting a good time ahead of both McLaren. Was Rutenius first, then it was Atom who improved that time. Now I think it was a Ferrari of Linus setting, and right now the 15th time. We have Alex Butt as well, I think, on a lap out of turn 9.
Well, all I can say is this quali's already been exciting with some of the times we've been seeing come out of this grid. We're seeing drivers up at the front, or very close to the front, that would not normally be there in dry standing, or at the very least from what we've seen in the street circuit races for rounds 7 and 8. Now we look at this, we have dry weather, we've got wet weather, it's all about to go down, Alex. And if you guys are in the chat and you guys are following along, make sure you share it, because this is Canada, and this is an intense circuit. There's DRS, there's tight chicanes, and we're going to get rain to really throw a monkey wrench into all of it. And on top of that, I'm just going to throw it out there, it's my home Grand Prix, and I am beyond hyped for this, Alex.
Yes, and I think it's a stop rain, or it's my idea, so probably we can have dry quali from here. Right now, the surface of this track is really, really wet still. You can see the spray, but I think it's even for dries. Probably it's just in the crossover.
Dunk on you. 6/10 improvement. The rain has stopped, especially through turns 1 and 2 here, and I think you're right. I think we're going to see this session evolve, and it's going to go from inner conditions to dry to the end of this qualifying, with a dry start to the race, and then the rain is coming back. Dunk on you. That big improvement put him into 6th.
Godwin as well, flying on the second flying. Right now, yeah, he's gaining 6/10 on that first sector, so probably still for inters, but it doesn't seem like quite comfortable without any rain, so probably a little bit of overheat on that compound can be seen. So right now, Godwin going to turn 8 and 9. Let's hope he doesn't invalidate. It's a very, very tight chicane on the exit there on the throttle as well, not putting the tire on the grass. Let's see if he's improving. Yes, he is. It's 6/10 out for the Finnish driver.
Let's see what he can do here. We've seen him do some heavy lifting in the wet, but as we've seen, The circuit is evolving. The question, will he come across and set this time, go around for the in-lap, or will he just come straight in and understanding, hey, this circuit isn't really ideal anymore? Well, he's going to come through here. He's going to come through here just ahead of him. Joe in the Ferrari has started a flyer. Linus into the pit lane on the rear of him. Gadwin, it is a huge improvement. Look at that, 1.1 dead. And it is drying up super quick here in Montreal.
Yes, it is, but I really don't see any driver on the pits. If you can put the detail of fitted compound, everyone is on inserts. So right now, it doesn't seem like these drivers are going to change the compound, at least at this moment. But probably we can see that at the end of the qualifying. Probably they are waiting on that pit to change the compound, because otherwise, I really don't know what they are waiting for.
It's a very dynamic session now, and with this uncertainty, with the circuit drying up, all these drivers now in the pit lane getting an idea of what's going on. And of course, Alex, you being a tier 1 driver, Mikhail is really wanting to get your thoughts on how do you set a car up? How do you set a car up for the coming conditions? Because Parc Ferme is on and being enforced.
Yeah, the thing is how much rain you will have on the race. But look, sorry, we're watching the first soft, well, it's the first dry tires. But yeah, I will jump there quickly. But Galwin sets pole position. This is definitely improving, but it doesn't seem like it's for inters at the moment. It should be for dries. So probably depends only on how much rain you have on the race. But I really like the dry setups, because you can have a good qualifying and just try to, don't have any traffic. You're ahead of the pack, and then you just try to manage the car as much as you can on that rain part of the race. So I would do that, but it's to personal preference, I guess.
Well, it's definitely difficult when there's changeable conditions and you're not entirely sure, what's going to be around longer. Dry conditions, wet conditions, you never know what could happen in that stint either. You could be following a safety car. You might not have a lot of fighting ability. You may just lose time on the tires. And Gadwin now, he's the only driver out on a lap, really, and it's an in-lap if I'm not mistaken. I imagine he'll come in and get off the inners now. The entirety of this grid pretty well on to the dry compound tires, except Squid is on inters still.
Yeah, now Godwin going to the pits. I guess he will change that. Now, Squid as well went to the pits. I think he realized of that mistake, as everyone is on the dry compound. So I'm waiting for to see who's flying at the moment with tires.
Arrow, I do believe, will be the first driver here in the session to get a lap on the soft rubber. Just shy of 6 minutes remaining here in quali. We are 2/3 of the way through, and the Spaniard is now coming out of turn 4.
Yeah, of course, it will be improving almost 3 seconds on that first split. So at the moment, it will be, if he doesn't evaluate the first representative time for these evolving circumstances. So just right now, Arrow going to turn 8 and 9. I think he brushed the wall there on the entry. It doesn't seem like he has damaged at least visually. So now exiting turn 9, going down the hairpin of turn 10. We'll see how he puts his traction down. 5.3 seconds. That's the improvement on that second split. It's a very, very good exit for that hairpin, but every second that is going through, the track is just evolving even more, Shrift.
Well, pushing and pushing and pushing. Now you come into 13, 14. Does he blow this now? Very, very... I think he was trying to make sure he did not invalidate it there, but this will be pole position for the time being. 11.983 is the new pole position time out of Arrow, and it's a quick dismissal as Yasko, the charging bull, comes through and drops that by nearly 4/10, nearly half a second coming out of him. Who's gonna do better? Alex Budd jumps Arrow now. Alex on the medium compound tires. It's an 11.647, Alex.
Yeah, this, as I said, the track's really, really evolving. So right now it doesn't matter almost which tire you're using. So probably some drivers try to use that medium, so they can start on the mediums and try to reach the period of rain on that race, so they don't have to stop before that ring comes down. Duncan, you're now setting the pole. It's 7 cents improvement. Look at how much and how fast is this improving.
Yeah, this track is getting rapid. Rutanius is currently not going to be improving from what I understand on his intermediate time due to, I think, an invalidation here, and it might have been through the final chicane. You see, the fact is, if you invalidate the final chicane in Canada, 13-14, where we're seeing Beccario run now, it invalidates you for not only the present lap, but the future lap. So we'll see if Beccario now is able to get a run in, and he will be beginning. But he had about
12.8, but it wasn't valid, so it doesn't matter. Right now, Lovell having to take that off-road of grass. I think Jasko was the guy right now who crossed the line. No, it was Backrow, his teammate, 11.6, and it's very tight up there in the front.
This is a really diverse grid when you look at these times now, because these drivers are starting to find difficulty, Alex, with invalidations. And should they not be able to improve on their times, of course, they're just going to drop through the timing tower to those drivers that are. Because there's a clear faster tire now, but if you can't get a time in with the dries, well, you're stuck on that intertime.
Exactly, because Squid, for example, was on a flyer who was improving almost 6 seconds, I think, and had to go to the pits because he invalidated. So he wants a fresh set, and look at that. It's Linus on the Ferrari on provisional pole position. I think this is the first time we have seen him there.
Yeah, very nice time out of him. It's a 110.6 for him out of the Scuderia Ferrari squad. And, well, that's a good time to get himself set into proper position for this campaign. Beccario in the Haas has come through to beat him out, and we can see this track continuing to evolve with 2 minutes remaining. Beccario, provisional pole, a 110.371.
Yeah, now Adam as well flying on that sector 1. I think him and Cactus, who is right now on turn 8 and 9, are flying at the moment. So I will jump on Cactus because he's far ahead on that track. He will be going to sector 2 split, entering sector 3, 7 seconds improvement. So that will be 12.8 at the moment. But of course, we have to count this sector 3 where you can improve a lot more. So I will be just inviting Global at the moment. So if you can run here on the sector 3 for Cactus.
Of course, coming down the casino straight, Cactus now really topping out this car, dropping it down to 5th as you come through 13-14 here, just barely getting that car rotated, just grazing that wall. It's good enough for 2nd position. Cactus into the front row on the heels of Gadwin. That 109.048, very rapid times coming out of this tier 3 grid now as this circuit starts to dry up and the sun peeks its way through the clouds.
Adson will cross the line and it will be enough. Yes, it's an 8.2. It's a massive improvement. Now Maka jumps into 3rd position, 1,000 behind the AlphaTauri of Gadwin. Now Undertaker, I think, jumps as well. So everyone improving now, and we have 1 minute left, and this will be super, super intense.
Dirk Chocolate just crossing that line to begin a lap, and I do believe it is his teammate in Damon Plays following suit. Damon on the medium compound tires. We'll see what he's able to do now to the line. It is going to be Rutanius beginning a lap. But guess what, Alex? It's invalid. That's chicane.
Massive. That's massive, because I don't think he will have time for improvement, so he will be starting there on the back.
Dirk Chocolate now in the same situation as Rutanius, Squid, Damon. They've all set times on those intermediates. They have not gotten a dry run through just yet. It is going to be Joe, the Ferrari. He's gone into 4th position. As more drivers are about to cross the line now, I do believe Alex Budd will be beginning a lap.
Yes, now back row crossing the line, I think, probably wasn't validated, so that's why he didn't improve. Yes, he did, but it wasn't enough for top 10 position. So a lot of drivers speeding. It seems like they did their lap, and then they jump to the pits. Jasko setting a good lap time, but it's still 7 cents off of Atom. It will be enough for him for P2 at the moment. Damon Plays as well, setting a lap on mediums, putting himself into the top 10, right now in 7th spot. Racing Point crossing the line, I think it will be Moen. No, it will be his teammate, Rutanius. Will crossing the line, but it's invalidated, so he will not be improving, and he will be probably starting on that last row.
Gadwin on his way into the pit lane now. Cactus. He is on a run, but I do believe he's run out of fuel. So Perhaps it was just an in-lap where he's completely used up all of his gas here. Alex Budd, I think, is going to be the last driver, Alex.
He doesn't invalidate it. It's a very, very good last chicane. He opens DRS. He goes side to the right. Let's see what he can do. The Williams driver is up into P8.
What a result.
So that is very, very good for him. And a lot of disappointments here on this qualifying.
Definitely a lot of disappointments here. Two drivers unable to get proper runs in on the dries. Rutanius, Squid, both on those inter runs. 19.1, 19.285 respectively. So that is going to really play with the dynamic of this race. We have drivers all throughout this timing tower. It is a real shuffle, Alex, here for Canada. And, well, I'm quite excited for it. Of course, before we jump into the classification, big shout out to our partners, Next Level Racing. Check them out via their website. The link is in the chat and the panels below. They've got some amazing quality simulation rigs and products there. They're really helping out the sim racing community. And if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Dirk Chocolate just lined himself up with a proper partnership with Next Level Racing. So big congrats to him in all of that.
Yeah, but he will starting on P15, so it's a very, very complicated start position for him. But of course, we know what we are going to see on this race strip, and it will be dry to full wet, and that really can shuffle all the positions.
This is going to be an intense race, Alex. I can feel it. I can feel it. We've got dry weather. We've got a shuffled grid. We've got rain on the horizon. Oh, you guys knew as soon as we saw the raindrops and we saw the forecast, I started laughing.
And of course, yeah, because I did the same. So I'm very, very excited to see this as Linus goes into the pits, and now we're done. But yeah, a lot of drivers who are on the top spots of this championship, like Ursanius, like Unicorn, like some other drivers, Squid, they're on the back. So yeah, as we said, massive shuffle here on the race.
Adam on pole position. We've seen him on pole position many a time this season. A 108.274 from him. Yasko on the rear of the Alfa Romeo, lining up on the front row in the Red Bull. It was a 108.991, just 7/10 off of Adam, as Gadwin is right behind him in third. The Finn, the AlphaTauri, has been showing great qualifying all season long, especially in the changeable dynamics, and he's really going to be happy with that one. So there are your top three, and of course we will go down through the rest of this grid on the formation lap.
Yeah, very interesting to see, because I think probably was only Damon placed on that top 10 with the mediums, if I remember correctly. But so we will see a lot of drivers there on the soft trying to stretch that as much as they can, so in order to not pit before that rain comes down.
Well, if you look at the sky here and you can see what we're seeing, you can tell that it is going to get dark. Because if it hasn't started raining and we know the rain's coming and it's going to get heavy, I think the intensity is just going to get kicked up to another level once that happens. And of course, that is on top of all of the usual dynamics that present themselves here in Canada. Of course, everyone in the chat, my personal favorite question, especially ahead of Canada, how many drivers do you think are going to have an issue through the Wall of Champions? And of course, safety cars. We need to know what you think about the safety cars. And this one, well, here around Montreal, the safety car likes to get its laps in.
I think Joe won't be able to return because he disconnected. I think we have his car there, so probably he can join back. I sent him an invite, but I really, really hope he doesn't miss his debut. There's some connection issues, so just checking that we are all here. Check the telemetry in order to see the throttle inputs. Doesn't seem like he's yet there on the car, but yeah. Watching the details of the tires, was Damon Blaze the only driver who qualified on those mediums into the top 10? Linus,
Very
Owen,
good for him.
Unicorn, Dirk, back row, Arrow, Rutenius with on level, all on mediums. Becario, outside of the top 10, will be the only driver on that soft compound strip.
This gives Mr. Damon Plays a razor sharp edge because these drivers right now, no one, I think, with a clear indication of when the rain is coming. They just know it's coming. So Damon with those mediums ahead of Undertaker in a good position to potentially defend, and who knows, the rubber in Canada, especially these softs, it can degrade absolutely quickly, but fortunately I don't think the circuit will be as hot as it can if it were to be clear. Let's see what kind of race we have here.
Surely it will be very, very intense. Different strategies, and I really this said they had 20 minutes to the rain, but of course that weather forecast can be not correct at all. So probably can be much before than expected. So these soft runners can run away and pit when they really need, or probably it can be just after they expected, and these medium runners really have a good time with the timing of their stop.
Well, here we go now. All the drivers are being guided to their grid slots and positions to start this race. Adam, Yasko, Gadwin, Maka, Joe, your top 5. Cactus, Dunk on You, Alex, Damon, and Undertaker rounding out the top 10 here. And we are ready to go racing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights here around Montreal. The drivers are off. They are racing. And we have a beautiful view of this coming down through turn 1. It's wheel to wheel. There's a little bit of debris coming off the Haas. That is Maka on the rear of, well, what's happened there? Gadwin.
Gadwin. It seems like a pretty clean start so far. I really don't see any exchange. I think it was Undertaker ahead of Becario. I think Becario had a good start, but right now with the desync, of course, I really cannot catch anything of this action, but still, I think Joe on the inside of Maka. Maka's really suffering with that damage. Joe on P5, Maka now dropping, and Ganwi very close. Jasko had a good start, and Atom a better one.
Cactus around the outside into the 8-9 chicane right now. Joe on the inside, holding hard there into 5th position, and that was as tight as it can get through that chicane. Very touch and go through there. Right now, wheel to wheel, Damon Plays Dunk on You. Very tight into the hairpin, and this is where there's a little bit of an issue. Moen has had a slight issue. I think he got a little bit of a wing caught under his rear there.
Safety car, a lot of M plays flying around. I think it was run for Undertaker probably. Oh, it's a massive portion of damage for Unicorn, and a lot as well for, I think, Moen or Rutsenius. I saw a Nahul.
Well, Adam's in. Adam, the leader of this race, is now into the pit lane. Yasko and Gadwin called him on it, and they've stayed out. And look, the strategy has just been thrown right into the air.
Look at how much drivers. I think it was Linus without any portion of that front wing. Both racing points, it seems like it wasn't from them. So they are fine staying out, but a lot of drivers changing shortly that front wing. I saw a lot of pieces.
Penalties being served as well. You can see Undertaker right now. He just served a penalty. What confusion we've had, and we haven't even seen the rain yet.
Yeah, it's a lot of strategies. Macarena putting another set of softs. Dirk putting softs. Undertaker putting softs. Probably these drivers are expecting the rain to come down earlier. Probably it can be that because Maka, Dirk, Undertaker, Unicorn, and Arrow put that new soft. They weren't soft beforehand, but Linus putting those hards, he doesn't really want to risk. He really wants to go and stretch those to the rain period. Right now, a very good start for Becario. He started, I think, on P12, now up into P7 with all of that changes. Doesn't seem like he has. Oh yeah, he has damage on his front wing, and I really don't think he's the only driver who has that.
Well, we look at the position changes, and it is just. I can't believe how this race started, Alex. This has been very interesting to see now, as the strategy has been flipped on its head for a lot of this, and we have so many drivers still on softs. We don't know when the rain is coming.
Duncan just jump into the pits. I think it's too. Oh, it's raining already.
The rain has started. What?
And he put it inters. He's the first driver to put the inters. I think it was a bold move. He wanted to go for another set of dry compound, but it doesn't seem like. It seems like Becario will follow him. No, but he will put mediums.
This is absolutely massive. It would appear the weather forecast was just thrown in the flame and burned up, and we've got a huge reshuffle. The drizzle has started to come down here. We can see it as we come through 5 and 6. Welcome to Montreal, ladies and gentlemen. Tier 3, round 9. Oh.
He really needs to wait till this pour downs, because right now, I really don't think it's for Inter. She really needs to take care of that. Don't wait that much, because I think the safety car restart will be right now, so it doesn't seem like it will be the optimal window for pit stop. So probably Duncan, you probably too early. We will see it right now, but I really think, in my opinion, it's too early.
We haven't even gotten to lap 5, and I feel like this has already been one of the races of the season. We haven't even seen anything happen yet. This is just crazy. Fortunately, all 20 drivers still in this race. One key thing to note here. On lap 3, safety car will be coming in at the end of this lap, and we can see Yasko now dialing in this grid. Everybody on these dry compound tires, with the exception of only one man. Duncan Yu in 19th position for Renault.
Safety car on the pit lane. I will have an eye surely on Duncan Yu and his grip, but I think Zaska just put the gas on.
Yeah, I think he got a little bit of a catch. Oh, he's just smacked the wall. No damage, fortunately for him, but he just had a snap coming through 14, and he had a little bit of a run-in with the wall. Dirk Chocolate has made a call to pit.
Yes, spitting for inserts. He didn't change the front wing. It's just for inserts, and it seems like Duncan Yu, I will see, because like he's trying that match. Doesn't seem like.
Linus Becario exchanging now. It's wheel to wheel. Linus looks like he got him at a 2 now. Becario back through on the Ferrari in through the 3-4 chicane, and you can really see the slide coming down that little chicane.
Yeah, those
the grip is really going quick.
Those cars are not good, and not even on these conditions.
Adam on Moen. Oh, that was a heart-in-mouth moment, and that was very, very tight. Lavelle Macca now, the fighting through the chicanes right now in these wet conditions, it really is intense.
Yeah, now Undershaker on traction, I think gaining that position on the Alfa Romeo of Lowville. And we have a yellow flag. I think it's Linus, who I think he crashed. Yeah, he spun into a wall out of turn 9, and he lost a lot of portion of that front wing. That's very unfortunate for the Ferrari squad. There's an exchange. I think it's Damon plays ahead of Alex, but they banged wheels, and it seems like Damon plays is gaining that place. He's sliding.
Well, Rutanius made it through on Alex Bud now. Adam in the mixture. Alex Bud dropping here. I do not believe he has damage. Back row, Becario. Back row and Duncan Yu. Back row's into the pit lane with Linus. Okay, so there's a lot of exchanging and issues happening towards the rear of this grid right now, as this train is still in procession through Sector 1. It is now the Williams 7 and 8. We'll see if any team orders come through. Squid on the inside through into the 6 and 7 turn. It looks like Moen might have just taken a slight... Yeah, I think... Did Cactus bump him?
I think that was close. Cactus went on the outside, and now it's Arrow who lost the control on braking there on turn 6. I think he lost a portion of front wing, as Moen has an exchange with Macca. Macca on the inside of turn 8 as well. Another exchange. I think Adam lost traction out of turn 9.
Cactus right now, he's really trying to thread the needle. He's just made a major lunge into the hairpin, and I think it might have cost him here, as Alex Bud and Rutanius are battling. Alex Bud in 6th position, really putting up a solid defense here. Rutanius and Alex Bud having a drag race now, as Rutanius gets in front of him. We've got yellows coming up through 2 and 3 here.
Everyone pitting. There's no grip. There's no grip at all. I think they know it, and look at all of the drivers spinning on the pit lane because they have no grip while braking. So they will have 5-second time penalty for spinning on the pit lane. Everyone putting the inserts right now, Strifium.
This is a huge race, Alex. This is a huge race. We're seeing it all come together now. Intermediate compound tires are on here on lap 6. And the shuffle of this grid just keeps on going.
Yeah, let's see Jasko. Jasko has a lot of grip out of turn 2. Look at how he's gaining on Moen and how he gained on Becario, because Duncan, you will go in the inside of the Haas driver. It's easy as you like.
Yeah, there's absolutely nothing in it for the dry compound tires anymore in this one. The overtake was so easy there for Yasko. The rain, the spray is really starting to pick up visually here on these cars. You can see Dunk on You now. Moen really having issues. Dunk on You gets him for fourth, and it's neatly done with the inners really coming through to pay dividends here. Joe will be next up to profit from the tire change.
Joe can be in a very podium finish position, because right now he's the third driver on the inters. Now we're taking Moen on that medium squid, doing the same on Becario on the same turn, same traction zone.
Wow. The pace differential coming out of these tires already is absolutely monstrous here on lap 6, and we have so much more racing to go through. We have, of course, the forecast. The heavy rain is on the way now. Becario on the inside as we come down the Casino Straight. Rutanius on the intermediate condition tires. It looks like Damon has made the call to come in with Godwin as Rutanius now watches Becario lead into the pit lane with that Haas. I think it's time for everyone to get off of these drives. Undertaker, not going to be too thrilled about being on this set of mediums right now, as I think it was just a moment ago that he jumped onto them.
I think so. Probably it was a mistake on the squad of the mechanics, probably putting the wrong compound there for an Undertaker. It was very, very bad for him.
Godwin, a driver who has shown great prowess in the rain, coming out of that pit lane just behind Rutanius.
He lost time, but I don't think he lost that much time. So isn't that bad for the AlphaTauri driver right now in P6? Of course, he was leading because Zas got pitted. I think on the restart he was second. So he dropped 4 places, and I think 10 seconds lost on that lap.
Dirk Chocolate in 8th position right now. A little bit of a shake coming out of turn 9 with his teammate Damon plays in 9th position. With, of course, the Haas of Maka not too far behind in his rearview mirrors. This is one of the tightest trains we have on circuit, of course. With next to no dry running in this race, we have not seen DRS in this campaign, and I don't think we're going to see it for the remainder of round 9 tier 3 as the heavy rain's coming. But
yeah, sure.
The tire differential, the strategy differential in this race has really started to play a role, and of course the drivers with experience in the wet, they will shine through when the heavier conditions come through. Adam, as we say it, he's just taken a time penalty for exceeding or multiple warnings. Something to talk about here, when the rain comes through, of course, you have to think about the fact that on a regular day, the circuit here, very strict on the track limits. With the rain coming through, I think we might see a good penalty shakedown at the end of this race. You can already see a variety of drivers with the black and white flag next to their name.
Yeah, and now Joe catching Dunk on You. I don't think Dunk on You has damage. It doesn't seem like visually has. So Joe really catching Dunk on You, losing time on Jasko and losing time on Joe. Joe really needs to be between 5 seconds of Jasko. Jasko, I think he's sped on the pit lane, so he has 5-second time penalty, and Joe really doesn't want to drop back.
The tight exchange here, a little bit of a rubber differential on the intermediate compound tires. The thing is, when you have a little bit of an older set of intermediate compound tires, when it's changeable conditions, it's hard to gauge the wear because of those temperatures on track, the lack of water on track. Joe, as we said it, when the rain comes through, these penalties start to come through a little bit harder. He's just taken 3 seconds.
Sorry, Adam. Try on the inside. It doesn't seem like it's going to work there. It was not enough alongside, so no point on doing the move diving. Backwards just closes the door. Adam just pulls off the throttle, and we'll try again now. It seems like he had a better traction now jumping into turn 1. It seems like a little bit of contact there on the rear and the front of both drivers. Now Adam on the outside. Let's see if he finds some traction that Backroad doesn't have. Doesn't seem like it's going to be like that straight until turn 3.
Well, it's a tight battle here. The tightest battle we have on track right now, next to Becario and Alex Bud. Looks like Adam holding off just for a second here. Does Becario have anything to say about Alex in 14th? He just had a brush with the wall coming out of turn 4. There goes Becario. He has damage on the front right.
Oh, but Alex Bud went super wide on turn 6. Doesn't seem like he has that. Oh, he has damage as well, so they are both equal on damage at the moment, it seems. No end plate for both of the drivers on the right part of that front wing. And at the moment, Zasco still leading this race and extending the gap lap by lap. Joe really needs to quit that Renault so he can catch the Red Bull driver.
Look at the position change shakedown on this time in tower right now. Squid retaining us up 15, 13 positions each. What a dynamic race we've had here.
Yes, and bad luck for Undertaker, who spun out of the hairpin, who had a yellow flag 2 laps ago. He spun, he had damage, he had to replace that inter set, and as well, of course, that front wing. Now he's being lapped by the top drivers, so very, very unfortunate for the AlphaTauri driver, who collected a 2nd place on Baku, first on track, but to a penalty, he was dropped back to 2nd place.
Another thing to bring up with the rain, Alex, is that, you know, and we've talked about it a lot already, I've brought it up several times, but it is going to get heavier, which means that these inners are not the current tire for the rest of the race.
Doesn't seem like it will be only these inserts, as Backrow has a very bad exit out of turn 7. I think he had a bad entry for turn 6, that's why he had a back exit, but now Atom trying to do the move, still very, very close on Backrow. But yes, as you said, it's not going to be like that to the end, and I really hope it changes soon, because changeable conditions is really, really good to see. Everyone pitting, everyone knows doesn't know where to do it, and it's really chaotic.
Well, everyone on these intermediate compound tires, dunk on you. I imagine it's going to be a unique situation for him. Any driver that has extended wear on their intermediate tires, I've talked about how over time you have to figure out whether or not it's the rain or whether it's the just tire degradation on the tires themselves that are causing you to lose that grip. And I've seen that where it can cause a driver to make the wrong call, you know, go to that full wet early and then struggle because they thought, hey, it's time for these wet tires. But when in reality it was because they had that extended stint, they had a little bit of additional wear, they might not have a real, you know, picture of where the other drivers are at. So that's one dynamic that may come into play for a few of these racers. I look at Dunk on You, I look at Dirk, look at Linus, any driver with, you know, above average wear on the tires.
Yes, definitely. Very, very difficult to find the spot of the crossover between the inserts and the wet compound. Is really just up to you, and if you feel like you're sliding more with those inserts. But as the laps come down, you really don't know if it's the wear or if it's really changeable for different compound. So it's really difficult to spot that difference, as Squid have a very, very good exit of last turn, and it seems like a very easy overtake to Joe, but it's still side by side surf.
Oh, wheel to wheel as you come through the first and second turn right now, and this is a difficult traction zone on a regular day out of 2 here. Squid now into 3rd position, dispatching this Ferrari. Squid having a good race here so far. He's moved up a ton of positions. His teammate
Adam in the inside. It seems like he's trying on back row defending there. His side point and the wheel of the Alfa Romeo still side by side. They're touching wheels. This can be really dangerous on turn 3. On the outside goes Adam, and it's a very good move. Let's see. Oh, Backrow has a massive traction out of turn 4, and it seems like Adam will not have the place.
Wow.
It's raining, and it's raining really, really hard right now.
It is coming down through turn 5, 6, and 7 now, and it's really, you can see Adam. He is on 6-lap old intermediate compound tires. He had a big slide on the exit there. The rain is starting to really pick up, and it is picking up fast here. It is really starting to change. Look at the visibility. Look at this visibility for Adam. He is one of the closest cars to the driver ahead. He can barely see with the spray coming off of the Red Bull.
Yeah, I will be very, very trying. Well, I will be very, very scared trying to find the spot to dive if I cannot see anything. So thank God we have those red lights that guide where the car in front is. And well, I really think Atom will have a breath of relief to have that. But right now, a very, very good exit for the Alfa Romeo driver is still not getting that place.
It has been a hunt for Adam. He had such an opportunity through that 3-4 chicane. It was a beautiful battle. Neither driver with any exchanging or damage. It's what you love to see, especially in conditions like this. We might not have had the best angle on it, but Of course, it's just all about the racing, and that was a beautiful exchange of racing right there.
It was indeed. We have a lot of strains. We have Joe, who had this
Wheel to wheel aero Linus through turns 1 and 2. There's a little bit of unsettling of the cars here, a little bit of wheel banging. It looks like Aero 18th. I'm not entirely sure if it was which one was ahead of the other as we came in there.
It was Linus ahead.
Aero doing work.
Yes, he's moving through. He had an incident on turn 6 just when the rain started to pour down. Now he's trying to recover. He has still 32 laps to go, and different conditions here as we have an exchange between Backrow and Anaton finally on the hairpin.
Backrow still holding this Alfa Romeo so tight here. Look at the rain, you can just hear it. It's getting heavier and heavier. Nobody has opted to pit yet. Backrow a little bit later on the brakes than Adam. He had that nice inside line through the chicane, and that will hold him in 12th for the minute. Here goes now. Tight to the pit wall as we come down into turn 1. Adam on the inside of the Red Bull. Unicorn just ahead. Really making this difficult, I think, for Backrow to defend or go later on the brakes, because he is still catching Unicorn. Unicorn dropping a ton. There goes the difficult traction out of turn 2. Backrow is in the wall.
That is massive for him. Oh, a lot of drivers going through. Probably he can take the risk and pit for wets. I think that can be a very good plan for him. As Beccario have a very... Oh, he had a very good exit of the... Oh, this is a massive disappointment. He had a very good exit out of that chicane of turn 4, and then he smashed the back of Alex, but because Alex was very, very slow and he didn't inspect that on traction, and then he has damage. I think Alex as well has damage. So, oh, this is massive.
Yeah,
for
Alex
all
had
of these
that
drivers.
front right missing when he was fighting earlier. And now, of course, this has really been opened up in the back end out of the points here. Meanwhile, Rutanius and Joe wheel to wheel through. Oh! Whoa! Whoa, 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 whoa. I just saw Rutanius and Joe in, I think, opposite standing positions. Rutanius straight through into the pit lane. That was bold, and he's come in for the wets.
And I don't think which one is more bold. I think it was more the entry than the select compounds, because he's now the only one there. Now Adam overtaking Unicorn on turn 1. It seems like a pretty easy move. Now Routine is just ahead of both of them. Let's see the traction. It seems like Rutenius is on a very, very good strategy right now.
Yeah, that was a big, big, big move through into the pit lane there. Joe now 3.2 seconds on the rear of Squid. Rutanius now the only driver other than Backrow onto these wet compound tires. And of course, Backrow having those issues, he needed to come in anyway. It was a switch of the wing, and of course, why not get the tires changed too?
Just on the window, I think now Rutenius, we can see the gap on the car ahead. I think he's gaining. Look, the gap coming down. 4/10 in just 4 minutes changes of the gap. 3.9, 3.8, and it's going really, really hard there down.
Yeah, it's time for wets for sure. Rutanius is giving us that clear indication. Everyone's getting a clear picture of the pace here as he is just tearing it down to the drivers ahead. And of course, the race leaders now are all taking the hint. Squid, Dunk on You, Joe, everybody's in. And this is good for Dunk on You. I think this is good for Dunk on You because he was able to go to the window without any serious issues. Yasko, Gadwin, holding strong, Cactus, Dirk, everybody playing real hard here. And this might be a good call when you think about it, because there's going to be a shuffle in traffic, difference in tire compositions, and that could always present a safety car.
Surely. Right now, Zasko, I think he didn't want to risk to pit earlier than the other drivers and not get held with them on the pit lane. So I think he will waiting one more lap and then pit just safe without traffic. So that's a very good plan for him, but still Duncan Yu getting time. I think he had 12 seconds of advantage on the Renault, the Red Bull driver. So it seems like he's pretty safe on that one.
Bait coming out of Red Bull there, making us aware that Jasko staying out, avoiding that double stack because of it, Backrow and his issue.
Dark Chocolate, super close on the back of Cactus on the exit of the hairpin. Probably they will both pit. It seems like it should be like that. Half a grid here with that different compound. Jasko now pitting. Seems like Gadwin should do the same. Yes, he does. Cactus as well. And Dirk. Dirk is staying
Dirk
out.
is staying out. I don't know about that one. I don't know about that one. His
And Damon
teammate as
well.
well has decided to stay out, and Rutanus has taken a penalty of some capacity. It would appear he had multiple warnings. Yellow flag through sector 3. I do believe that's just drivers coming into the pit lane. Undertaker.
Undertaker retiring.
Yeah, Undertaker retiring the car.
I saw a Thunder.
Just a quick reminder. That, of course, there is a combined Constructors Championship at play here. Right now, it's of course, the AlphaTauris in the Williams squad tied. Gadwin, Squid running 6 and 7 right now. The other two drivers not in contention for points. It's a little bit of a grudge match to tip the scales today.
Yes, it is now. Duncan Yu, a lot of traction out of those wet compound. Just easy move on traction on Damon Bliss, who has as well damage. So now he's suffering a lot. I don't know if they were beating now or they want to stay out on those inters. Probably is going to be for inters again after this wet period. But Torque just drifting out of the chicane on 5th gear. So that's very, very harsh for him. You know, he will be staying out, as I said.
Well, 13 laps now on that tire, and straight into the pit lane he goes. His teammate. We'll have to see what happens with Damon, because he's going to be struggling and he can't come in, but he's going to come in anyway, and they're going to go for the double stack. It is going to be a straight up double stack for the McLarens here, and this has really hampered them.
Yeah, we'll see how much time he lost. It doesn't seem like that much. Probably it was a good idea to double stack. Oh, he had to change front wing as well. So I actually think that was a good idea, because one more lap there with those inters and he was going to drop massively, even more.
Well, Dirk coming out now just ahead of Maka. Maka just rounding turn 2. He's in 9th. Where does Damon come out here? Did he have enough of a window? Unicorn's tearing down the pit straight now. Damon is going to get into 11th, so he might have just gotten out all right here.
Of course, he lost that time on Atom, and I think more drivers who was him ahead of them before the pit stop. So now we'll see if he tries to do the comeback. He really needs to keep that nose clean. That front wing is really, really crucial on these circumstances.
Back row, Linus, there's a little bit of an exchange as we come through turns 1 and 2 here, and I cannot express enough the torrential conditions we are witnessing coming through this first sector. Once these cars get going, you can hear just that sound of rain really start to pick up. As we come out of the chicane now, you can see back row really wanting Linus. Tight battling here into turn 6 and 7. And this is what you like to see, tight battling, albeit not for points at the moment, definitely for the bragging rights between the Red Bull and Ferrari driver.
What a drift out of turn 7 for back row. He catched it, but it's not the first time he has a slight rear end. He'll try to catch it on traction now for Linus. Seems like he's not gaining that much though.
Dark Chocolate on the rear of Cactus. Even after that undercut from Cactus, Dark Chocolate has been able to catch up with this Mercedes, and that is massive for him. Back row not able to do anything just yet on the rear of Linus. We're coming down the casino straight into the 13-14 chicane. This is where things can get really hairy here. Right now, not enough of a run for the Red Bull.
Not enough for him. Right now, yeah, as you said, they're very, very close. It's not the only driver very close. Lobo on the back of Unicorn. Seems like Unicorn is not getting up to pace there. With these torrential conditions, almost losing the rear there on turn 5. But still keeping the car on track.
Yeah, Unicorn's been giving us a consistent performance today, but it has not been consistent with what we've seen from him in these past few rounds. Not having the best drive today in these conditions at all, and I think a lot of drivers, they knew that there could be a chance of rain here, and it was just a big fingers crossed moment for them. Everyone wanted the rain all season long. We got it for tier 1. Now we're getting it again straight after now into tier 3 for the next round, round 9.
Squid very, very close on the back of Godwin. I think he's gaining time every lap it passes, but Godwin as well gaining time. I really don't think who's now gaining time, because I think Godwin was on P6, but now he's gaining. I think it was because both McLaren pitting, not because he gained that on track. But yes, I think then is Squid gaining. He gained 3 tenths on that first sector, cutting the gap down on Gadwin. And Squid, very, very fast driver here on tier 3. I think he's third in the standings. So he will try to really take some points after Retaining starting on the back. He's now on P3.
Look at Dirk Chocolate coming through this 8-9 chicane. He's just kind of gliding through, keeping well with this Mercedes, and everybody wants to see tight battling here in these conditions, but everyone will also wanting to hold on to kind of what they got, see how this race plays out. We're on lap 20 out of 35 right now, and one thing is for certain, Yasko has been punching all of the right holes into this one. He has been hitting all the nails on the head. He has been having a very complete race here today, Yasko. This Red Bull, 7.7 seconds ahead of Dunk on You right now. Here we go, Dirk Chocolate on the Rift Cactus. It's tight. It's really tight. There's a move. Here goes Dirk on the inside into turn 1. A little bit of a bump. There's a big issue. There's a massive snap. Cactus is off. Dirk has just slid all the way into turn 2. Wow, I'm not entirely sure what's happened between the two, and there's not going to be any safety car as a result, but there is going to be debris and damage for both drivers. Cactus missing a major portion of the front left wing right now. Dirk Chocolate has no damage. He just went for a good old hey how you going through the runoff, and he's all right into 7th.
I think they got minimal contact between both wheels, and while they were turning to the right, I think that, well, the 5.6 doesn't help here with this game sometimes, and just had Cactus proposed to the wall, then touched Dirk, and then spun. So this is massive for Cactus, who was on point in a very, very good position. He wanted to make you proud, as he said on the interview on Baku, but now it's very, very difficult to climb back.
Yeah, definitely. Very hard to climb back. It's a very, very tough position to be in when you have that kind of damage and there's no safety car deployed. That was a huge issue. We had a car literally sliding through the first and second turns. Torrential conditions, Alex. That's all I can say. Welcome to Canada.
It's torrential, and Atom really gaining time on Maca. Cactus will be pitting this lap. I guess it will be a new set of wets and, of course, a new front wing. But it's very, very sad for him. He was in a very good spot. He was on P7, sorry. And now, as I said, he will try to do the comeback. Unicorn, of course, on Lobel gaining places and more of these drivers. Right now, as I said, Maca losing time on Atom. He has been as well on a recovery since lap 1. He was leading, remember, then he pitted for new mediums, I think, when the safety car came out. And then I think we didn't have a track on him, but he was trying to overtake back row and he was losing time doing that.
This race has just given us so much to talk about, so much intensity, little dramas, and it's all about this rain today. We had that safety car at the very beginning. It really shuffled things. Now things are torrential. We haven't had too much close action on track. It's really been a strategical battle today, and a battle of who's better in the conditions. And of course, you know, we were talking about how you set your car up for this race. The drivers, they had an idea, hey, it's going to be 20 minutes of driving before we even see rain. We saw the first rain after 5 minutes. It started drizzling.
Yeah, I think it was around lap 4 and 5. And we got a red safety car.
Oh!
We have another safety
well,
car.
What has caused the safety car is the big question.
The rain.
The rain! You're right! There's been no contact on circuit, and it is the Endurance Series all over again, and I can't say I'm disappointed because the rain has gotten so heavy here in MRL round number 9 that the safety car has been deployed. Welcome. Welcome, everybody.
Safety car from the first thing, and now it's just, when I say safety car, it was just full course yellow. It was amazing. So right now, this can be massive for the people who has penalty at the moment. We can see now on details, Routinius has 3 seconds, Squid has 3 seconds, Joe had a drive-through speeding under safety car conditions, there has 5 seconds, Adam, Damon, 3 each one, as well as Moen and Arrow, 3 each one, Alex Bud having 9 seconds, he's not going to have a good time out of this restart. Linus and Backrow have an exchange, I think, because they pitted right now. They're trying to not be lapped, as Jasko is now going to cross the line and probably lap his teammate. We will see, because I really don't think it's going to happen. But yeah, it will be backwards just ahead of him, and he will have the lap of the leader still. Jasko will catch the safety car on a brief moment. We have, I think it was Squid pitting. I think it's a Squid pitting. So he will be changing those tires and try to go to the end with a new set of full wet compound. Now Joe overtaking him. Remember, he has to serve that drive-through. So at the moment, Jasko catching the safety car. Backrow catch the safety car. He's unlapping himself. No major problem.
Wow, I am. Oh, I was talking about how excited I was for this race, and how it's been my home Grand Prix, and here's a question: how long does this safety car stay out? Does anyone know?
I really don't know. I think till it clears up a little bit, because I think it was like that on endurance.
What happens when you have a safety car come out and there's nothing to be removed on track except the water?
You just need to wait and be patient. But we are 11 laps when we cross the line of this end of this race, as Jasko is really settling the space between him and the safety car. I really don't know why. I don't think it's in this lap, so it will be around more. So yes, it is very, very difficult. It will be in a sprint race of 10 laps. Everyone on the lead lap, thankfully, and everyone.
That's what makes this so intense. It's everybody on the lead lap. Everybody in this race is on the lead lap. This has been such a shakedown. This entire race is about to get flipped on its head again, and these penalties are absolutely wild. And Joe, with that drive-through penalty, of course, having to come in when the circuit goes green, presents a very, very difficult situation.
Yeah, exactly. It's very, very difficult to know where to pit. You really need to wait to have the green flag racing on all track, and then you can really head out into the pits and serve that drive-through, because otherwise you will be disqualified by the game, as we saw on Sunday on F2 and multiple times some other races during the seasons.
We've seen it through the season. Yeah, it's an unfortunate circumstance, without a doubt. I think we had it with Zamis, if I'm not mistaken, at one point as well, in the Americas division, where he had also had an issue serving a drive-through. I don't know if it was the curb that Jasko just ran over, or if I actually heard thunder in the game, but that was interesting. If anyone else caught that, let me know.
There was thunder 5 minutes ago. I tell you, it was thunder there, and well, of course, lining some lights there, and I actually didn't expect to be like this, like a safety car coming out,
like,
because that.
I thought in 100% that's the only time that could happen, my personal view. And now we're in a 50% distance race, no collision, no debris, no problems, safety cars deployed, and I mean visually you can see why.
Yes, no grip at all with this rain pouring down on this track on Montreal. So at the moment, Jasko had a big lock up there on last turn. I don't know if he's trying to just warm up the fronts by locking them, or just no grip at all, Triff.
Well, we waited almost 40 rounds of racing. We got it on round 39 of MRL Season 4 action. 39. And that was Tier 1 Baku last week. We finally got intermediate conditions. And I guess they said, okay, when they start round 9, we'll just give them all the rain that was being held back. And this is it.
This is amazing. And I'm really expecting this safety car to be on this lap. And now then, well, after that, we can have green flag racing. We're waiting for Backrow. Yes, he will miss the pit lane, so they will be catching the safety car hopefully before sector 3 starts, and I think even with that he should be on this lap. So is the chat prepared? Is really prepared for this, because this is going to be a sprint race to the end, Triff.
This is going to be an absolute sprint to the end. I think you're right, and I'm actually kind of surprised that everybody has stayed out on, like, I'm not entirely sure. Well, there it is. Race control. It is coming in. This is about to go down. We're about to see what happens. We have a major tire differential for a variety of drivers on this grid. The timings have now come closer together. We have penalties in the equation, heavy rain. I think it's everything that you'd want in an intense finish around Canada.
Yes, Zasco really waving those tires. I think the temps is crucial here.
See what Joe does in this Ferrari as well with that drive-through pending. Safety car is in, and Yasko now out of turn 14 is away.
Oh, and Dirk, very, very good exit because Joe had almost spinning there on the exit of last turn. So Dirk will be on the inside of turn 1. Let's see, is front weak, but he doesn't want to commit to the overtake, or does he? Because he just go on the outside. He puts neutral for a moment. It's not good for traction, but still he will have the move on the Ferrari driver. Squid really, really lurking on the back part of that Ferrari as well.
Well, Squid almost had a good opportunity to get that 6th position, but his exit coming out of 2, it was nothing but rotation on the wheels and no grip in these conditions. And I think all of these drivers are heavily struggling here. You can see Joe now, big issue as you come out of turn 7. A slight tap from Squid on the rear of him as these drivers try to move through. All down through the rear of this grid as well, all the way through Alex Budd, Beccario. There's a train forming there as Beccario now. He's looking at Alex Budd as we say this into the 8-9 chicane. It is so tight. Alex, a little bit later on the brakes, will lunge ahead. Now Beccario with a look through on the inside. Alex Budd holds on to 16th position. Beccario not able to get this done. We move back to Damon plays as he's coming out of the hairpin. He's on the rear of Macca. Adam in his rearview mirrors holding well. Unicorn is back into this equation as well. He's in points contention. And Lavelle, Cactus out of the hairpin. They're having a drag race. And there's more contact. A little bit of an issue here. A little bit of a slide. I have to say, I'm shocked both drivers are still on track after that in these conditions with the lack of grip. But there it is. There's a major crash coming down the casino straight. Oh, no, and I am not entirely sure what to say about this. I'm not entirely sure if it was desync, but I can say one thing for certain, Alex. The VSC is out.
Yes, I think that it was a minimal contact, and as we saw on, I think, Cactus and Dirk, it happened again, and it wasn't a straight wet conditions. You cannot see very, very good where's the other driver, and these things may occur. And I think there was contact for Cactus and the first place out of the hairpin, and contact again, sorry, with more damage for both of the drivers. Now is green flag racing, and we'll see who has been catching this delta right, because I think Atom is really, really close on the back of Damon, but Damon has as well on Macca, so this is a big train.
Massive train here. Absolutely massive.
Look at Squid. Squid is really gaining on Joe. Joe has to serve the drive-through still.
That is
Rutinius.
huge.
Rutinius very, very close on Duncan. You're almost having the go on the outside of the hairpin.
Well, I want to see if Squid... see, this is where things get tricky, because you have Squid tight to the rear of Joe right now. Joe's got to serve this drive-through. He's got to come in here. I imagine if he doesn't come in here, he gets DSQ'd. Oh! He's not coming in. Joe's going through.
Well,
he took a 3-second time penalty. He took a 3-second time penalty over the chicane, and he's going to cross the line here. Is this going to drop his car? No. It hasn't.
Can be a visual glitch that we can see a drive-through that it's not existent.
I do not believe that is the case here. I think this might be his last opportunity here. He's had a big loss of traction coming out of 2. What a very dynamic race. Adam right now on the rear of Damon, nice and tight through 3-4.
Adam very, very close again on the back of a driver who it seems like he's going slower than him. Had some very, very good pace. Now Demon bad exit out of turn 7. Adam will try to put the nose ahead. It doesn't seem like he had the better traction to put that move on. Still, Demon plays braking a little bit later, but no, it's a very good spot for braking. Now Dirk on the inside of the exit of turn 9.
This is huge for Dirk to get it into that hairpin right now. Gadwin on the inside, a little bit of an extension from him. Does he have enough to get that car rotated and fight Squid and Joe now just behind them? They are exchanging as well. Squid now finally into 6th position. Adam and Damon, they are still tight. Adam not yet able to get anything done on Damon here. Squid now looking at Gadwin. Such a tire differential here. A slight nudge, I think, coming from Squid there. And of course, as they come out of the chicane, everyone taking penalties. And here comes Joe to serve the drive-through finally, Alex.
Yeah, he's serving it. It's not a visual glitch, thankfully. And now Atom on the inside of Damon plays a little bit of contact there. Seems like both cars are good at the moment. Good move from Atom. Now on the outside, he has distraction. Yes, he has, but he's lagging a little bit, at least on my end. But now a very, very good move for the Alfa Romeo and trying to climb back, as we said earlier. And now Cactus having a 5-second penalty for spinning on the blue lane, and it seems like he's going to the NF probably.
Damon with a major issue coming out of the 3-4 chicane. He had such a loss of grip. He had a snap of the steering. He had an issue trying to get it together. And look at what Unicorn has been able to do here. Unicorn's been able to stick with him. But look at the amount of time that Damon has already lost to Adam. Adam now hunting down Maka with this fresh rubber. This fresh rubber really, really helping out these drivers right now.
Oh, and one thing we haven't tried to...
Oh, big lunge from Adam here into the hairpin. Does he get Maka? This is a huge move. Maka around the outside. Does he have the exit he needs to hold off this Alfa Romeo?
They're still side by side. They're still side by side. Oh, it's very close. Oh, it was almost the same situation between Cactus and Lobel. This time, it seems like both have been clean by. Adam with a very good exit. No, he will not have that good exit. And now he has to do the move again. And I was going to say, the penalties can have a massive role after this safety car, returning to 3 seconds. They're actually with 8 seconds, Godwin without any penalties, so probably he can take that podium.
Alex Budd right now on the rear of Moen. Really looking for that 12th position. Things looking a little shaky between the two as you come through turn 1 and 2, and that was an interesting exchange between them as Squid is just hunting Gadwin.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. He has 6-second penalty, and now he has to dispatch this Alpha Tauri as soon as he can do it. Zasco now leading through. 2.5 is the gap to Duncan you.
Do these tires have enough in them at the end of the race to hold off Squid and these fresher wets? Like, were the tires dead when the safety car came out? That, you know, that's the question that I ask myself, is where are these tires at? And we've had another issue through sector 2 and 3, a yellow flag coming up here as Maka and Adam are continuing now, or they're jumping into the dance, Alex. They are now dancing as we come down the casino straight. Adam now into 7th position. Will lead this Haas through into the 13-14 chicane, and it neatly done.
Yes, very good move from him. Now, I think the yellow flags was because Joe probably, they still have short 9. But yeah, it was a double exchange there. It was Moen, it seems. Probably he has some portion of front wing missing. So we'll now pit. And I think this is for Insers. This is for Insers. Cactus have been cutting that time. He was on 15.5 seconds on this lap at the beginning, and now he's catching almost 2 seconds per lap.
Dark Chocolate on the rear of Rutanius right now, less than a second the gap. A little bit of a tire differential there. We'll take a look at the penalties in just a moment as Squid looks to continue hunting down Gadwin. Joe in 13th position. He's looking at Beccario as we come into turn 6. Beccario struggling very much right now, and you can see the grip loss for Joe. Both drivers having their issues. Backrow is on the rear of this, and he's got much fresher rubber.
And now Arrow fighting for the points, but he has 3-second penalty as well as Damon plays. So right now it's looking good for Unicorn. Arrow really needs to do the moves here soon as possible. Backrow overtaking on the inside of the hairpin. Let's see, almost touching the back of Beccario, but it's side by side still the hairpin. Let's see the exit out the Ferrari. Seems like a very good for Backrow, and he's fully ahead.
Nice move from Backrow there. Tires really helping him out here now. Joe really pushing, using a lot of energy as we just switch quickly. Gadwin, Squid now, wheel to wheel through the front end of things, through turns 1 and 2. Squid on Gadwin. Does he have the traction here? I do believe he does. He's on the right-hand side. It's actually a drag race into 3-4 chicane. Squid a little bit later on the brakes. He gets that line through, and he is into 5th. Meanwhile, Backrow and Joe in the same position. Joe around the outside. There's a little bit of a slide there. I think a little bit of contact between the two. He is going to fall to Backrow now, I think, decisively, whereas he was holding on a little bit better as we came through the chicane of 13-14.
Yeah, surely. Now, back row trying to catch Vicario. Oh, and almost touching the rear there. I think Vicario lift up, and now on the inside it's back row of turn 6. Let's see the exit of turn 7. It seems like very good for the Red Bull. Good traction out of turn 7.
Oh,
No, he
no.
doesn't catch it.
What a move. And then it was just so unfortunate. He had an issue, and now he's got a major amount of damage on the front end of that car.
That was massive illustration again. It's not the first time, I think, because... Oh, and now Unicorn overtaking Damon Place on the exit of the hairpin.
Well, just ahead of them right now, Dirk Chocolate is in extraordinarily close proximity with Rutanius ahead. Rutanius now 3-lap older tires. We are on the penultimate lap of this campaign as Yasko leads us away 3 seconds ahead of Dunk on You. Rutanius 2 seconds away from him. Penalties shaking down everything. Right now, Dunk on You, 3 seconds. Rutanius with 3 seconds. Dirk Chocolate with 8. Unfortunately, it's Squid with 9 behind him. Gadwin, nothing. Adam with 3. Damon with 6. Arrow with 3. What a wild, wild racing campaign this has been.
Yeah, now Squid get it. Oh, Adam spun. Adam spun out of turn 5. He just lost all the portion of his left-hand side, and now Maka will be catching soon. Oh, Adam just lost it. I was on board of him. And just the rear just slipped, and it was massive disappointment now for Alfa Romeo. A 3-second time penalty, and Maka catching as well as Unicorn.
Moen now, he's made an overtake on the Ferrari of Linus. 1.3 seconds the gap. Actually, he is just chunking that gap to back row with that damage.
Joe, I think was... Oh, he has a puncture.
Well, that gives us an indication of what's going on with the tires. That gives us a huge indication of what's going on with the tires. Rutanius could be on for a puncture here as well. We're entering the final lap of this race, and if Joe's got a puncture, Rutanius is about to enter his 20th lap of this race with these tires. Take a look at the rears, we take a look at the fronts, and nothing doing just yet. But here's the problem. Dirk Chocolate could still yet net himself a podium should something happen to Rutanius here. Squid.
Oh,
well, look at this.
On the exit of turn 2, look at Dirk on the outside. Let's see. Oh, he's almost on the grass.
Ooh, there's a bit of a tap coming out of the chicane, and here goes Squid on the rear of Rutanius. Dirk's into third. Rutanius putting that car in Squid's way. And if Dirk is able to pull away a significant gap here, or at least enough of a gap to give him a few extra points, that is huge.
Yeah, it will be huge. And this is last lap, and Zasko is going to the hairpin. We'll see, because Squid is very, very close. That fresher tire is really, really giving him a good profit for that grip. Look at the move on the inside, but he has more penalties than the racing point. This is very, very close, Rift.
This is a huge battle wheel to wheel as we come through the hairpin. Squid around the outside right now. Rutanius so much. Well, he's got no grip. He's got no grip. Look at Gadwin now. He's absolutely storming on the rear of Rutanius here, and this could be Gadwin, not Dirk. This could be Gadwin on this podium, as there's been a desync of the timing tower, so we aren't going to have the actual timings, but it is going to be Yasko with this race win. Dunk on You in second position, and now to the line. Dirk crosses third, but it's going to be Squid. No, it's going to be Gadwin. It's Gadwin into third position here in the AlphaTauri. Rutanius fourth, Dirk in fifth. It's Maka collecting 6 after this one comes through, and Squid will drop to 7th. Unicorn will take points after all in 8th. Adam, 9th. Damon rounding out the top 10 points finishers here for the McLarens, and what a Canadian Grand Prix this was for round 9 of MRL Season 4. And I have to say, as a Canadian, Alex, I'm shaking.
Yeah, no, sorry, Cactus on the line, just overtaking Linus. Cactus will get it on penalty still. But yeah, it was very, very, very intense. Almost like Canada 2011, if I'm not mistaken. Safety car, because of the really, really torrential conditions. And Jasko leading through this race almost since lap 1. And a beautiful racing between these drivers.
Absolutely fantastic race. Everybody who's been in the stream for this one, in the chat, hanging with us, thank you for hanging out. We're going to have some interviews in just a second with the top 3, get their thoughts on this crazy race, and then we're going to go ahead and raid. And wow, just not a lot of words right now that I can find. Just a very, very good, Fun race to watch. Intensity from start to finish. Multiple safety cars. We had a safety car come out for rain. Yasko from second to first. He gets the win here. What a drive from him. The Red Bull will be thrilled. Renault going to be happy with Dunk on You on the podium as well. From 7th to 2nd for him, and it was Gadwin who started this race in 3rd. What a drive for the Finn. He gets it done into 3rd as well. Rutanius, he's up there, but he's not where he wanted to be. 18th to 4th, but a great drive from him. 15th to 5th for Dirk. Can't fault him there. It was a strong outing after a difficult quali for a few of these drivers. Maka, 4th to 6th here. He drops a couple slots. It was Squid, who went 19th to 7th here in this one. It was 14th to 8th for Unicorn and the other Renault, and it was the Alfa Romeo of Adam, who started this race on pole, but finished here in 9th. So still points, but it wasn't that elusive race win. And of course, Damon Plays starting this race in 9th. What a race out of the McLarens today. He finishes this in 10th. Arrow 11th, Becario 12th, Moen in 13th, Cactus 14th here, Linus 15th, Backrow 16th, Alex Butt in 17th, Lavelle in 18th, Joe finishing 19th, retiring on the penultimate lap with a puncture, and it was Undertaker who retired due to some issues there. He was on the intermediate compound tires, I do believe, when he retired. Wow, what a race. And of course, thank you to Unicorn for the raid. Just crazy stuff, Alex.
It was massive. It was massive. We did expect that rain, and the rain just said, yes, I will come down here and I will take part of this race in my pocket. So right now, we're just waiting for the interviews to be done. It seems like we have Duncan Yu and Jasco there. 3rd place was Godwin. So we will be waiting for him till he can get there. So very, very intense. Very, very intense. That's, I think, the things I can say about this race.
Thank you, Strifium. Yeah, it was a real tough race. I went for the gamble and pitted a lap before everyone else to the intermediates, and it paid off. I just climbed up to all the way to P2, but Yaska was just too quick for me, but I'm happy anyways.
Well, welcome to, like, this race. I was muted for a moment there when I asked Dunk on You what was going on, but this race was so dynamic. We had a safety car released for just rain. No collisions, nothing. Did you know that happened? Did you know that it was rain that caused it, or did you think that there was an issue? Because it did shake up the race.
Well, I got my race engineer Fraser talking to me and Unicorn, so we basically knew everything what was happening, and I just went with my gut and went to the pits for the tires.
Well, that was a very, very up and down dynamic race. I think a lot of the viewers were really happy to see a race go that way. Alex, do you have any questions for Dunk on You?
I was a superlative drive for Duncan Yu. I think it's not the first podium from you.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, it is. So congratulations.
I was basically
congratulations for that podium. It was amazing. It was amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you for the interview, Dunk on You, and good luck to you next week for round 10.
Thank you, guys. See ya.
Yeah. Okay. Now, I don't believe we're going to be having any other interviews. I think that might be the only interview we have available. I think Yasko had been there for a moment, but maybe he had decided not to talk. But that was an amazing campaign. I am beyond thrilled with, I think, a lot of the racing in this one, coming out of two very, very tight circuits in Monaco and, of course, last week in Baku. To see this race today, Alex, it was a breath of fresh air and, well, a downpour.
Yeah, I got one comment across the chat telling us he was not going to give this interview I would like to dedicate this podium to legendary Murray Walker and his lovely fiance. That's the words Godwin used. So very lovely message for the Alpha Tauri driver, and of course, this is for Murray Walker.
Well, that is going to wrap it up for us, everyone. We are going to, of course, play the outro and then rate a member of the F1 community. I think today we are going to be joining Mr. Dirk Chocolate, and you guys can go over there and maybe inquire as to how his race went in this amazing campaign of changeable conditions. But of course, that's it for me. Strifium here from Canada and Alex from Spain. We have the Americas tonight. That is at 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So the clocks have shifted ahead here in Canada, and so I'm just letting everyone know that that race for the Americas division is going to be at 9 p.m. EDT. All right, Eastern Daylight Time. So we hope you'll join us for round 9 of Americas later, where I'll be driving in the Ferrari. And of course, thank you so much, everybody, for the continued support of the MRL, and a big shout out and thanks to our lovely partners, Next Level Racing. Check them out via the link in the chat and via the panels down below on their website for some amazing sim racing products. And of course, last but not least, and we started the stream with this, once again from me, and of course, to everybody around the world of Formula One, a big condolences for the loss of our dear caster, the legend, Murray Walker. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us today, and we'll see you next time.